It's Tuesday night in the garage and the block is hot. It's your boy Avatar John. I've got the wheel and I'm your guide through this market mayhem. Bitcoin caught a small bounce off the blood-slick pavement. Not a miracle, just a clean countersteer after the spin. TradFi looked like they blew a tire at 120 and kissed the wall. Breath thin, nerves loud, airbags deployed. Over in AI, Grok 4.1 just dropped. More emotional, more human, and totally free. While out on the tape, whales are stacking like they own the parking lot and retail's panicking in the fire lane. Tonight is straight fire. No fluff, no brakes, all signal. But we both know why you rolled into the garage. You want Triple X's dirty trench pick, and the man is still en fuego. So do the drill. Smash that like, hit follow, and share this with your fellow degens. Or that dude at work still rocking a sun-faded Bored Ape shirt he bought at Target like 2021 is gonna text him back. Engines hot, safety off. Let's rip. Bitcoin ripped from 87,000 to 93,790 like a twin turbo finally catching boost, and yeah, now it's slipping back. That pop wasn't faith, that was plumbing. Shorts stacked too tight at the floor. Buyers tagged 87 and the stop minefield detonated. Forced buys at market, funding cooled, basis quit screaming, and for the first time in hours, spot led perps. That's real cash taking the wheel, not cosplay leverage. Then the professionals walked in. Whale bids, laddered, boring, relentless, absorbed red without slipping, and pushed us through the hinge. Dealers flipped longer gamma and had to buy into strength just to stay hedged. That's why 93,790 printed without a poem. Meanwhile, the big pipe from TradFi went from fire hose red to leaky hose, still outflows, just less. And inside crypto, the stablecoin bench rotated off the sideline. You don't always need new money for a pop. You need sellers out of ammo and sideline cash whispering, send it. So why the fade now? Because supply remembers. Overhead bag holders beg for a bailout tick. Headline overhang lurks in the blind spot and nobody floors it into a truck. Translation, this was a tradable reclaim, clean enough to scalp, not enough to marry. Where did the liquidity actually come from? 3 spigots. 1, mechanical, short cover, all-eye cleanse, dealer hedging. That's gasoline you feel, not see. 2, structural, spot bids from quiet balance sheets who buy wholesale while tourists puke. 3, rotational, stable coins and desk inventory redeploy the second panic eased. Promotion test from nice pop to real campaign is simple. ETF bleed flattens and then flips. Spot keeps leading perps on green days. Funding stays boring. No FOMO spikes. And we hold today's shelf through a nasty wick. Until those lights all go green, treat 93 to 97 like a speed trap. Get in, cut the magnet, don't flirt with the cop. Now zoom the rest of the board. Ethereum is the co-driver. DeFi spine didn't snap. Exchange supply's been drifting lower. And when Bitcoin stopped leading, ETH basis relaxed. Hold the 3,000 handle with spot leading perps, and 31 to 3,200 is a fair magnet. Lose 2850 on volume, and you're back on marbles. No speeches, just exits. Solana's the range boss. Institutional bags didn't puke in size, staking pays you to wait. And on relief, SOL tends to lead the beta sprint. Keep 130 to 150 intact, and you've got a pace car. Slice under 128 with momentum, and we holster the throttle. Down in the trenches, we run safecracker rules where we don't touch it. LP 100K or more, cap $1 million or more, age 12 hours plus, mint revoked, owner renounced. Top 10 holders under 70%, tax 5% or less, and real depth at 1% impact. Fail one box, it's a pass. We don't buy neon, we buy structure. Payments lane, yeah, I see the rotation. It's real only if the inflows persist. One print wonders fade on the next macro sneeze. AI, that's your torque curve. Multi-year compute buys don't care about your 5-second candle. If equity's breadth widens, chips and cloud launch first, and AI-adjacent alts draft the slipstream. And TradFi? They looked like they blew a tire at $120 and kissed the wall. Breadth thin, nerves loud, concentration risk flashing on the dash. Yields cooled on safety bits, dollar stayed firm, VIX stopped pretending. That's a headwind, not a tailwind. It explains our slip. When megacaps wobble and credit twitches, beta everywhere de-risks and our bounce loses oxygen. So here's how we drive the next lap. Trade reclaims, bank magnets, keep a hedge. 2 hands on the wheel. We scalp what's there, not what we wish was there. If ETF pipes flatten and flip, if spot keeps leading, if funding stays boring and we hold the shelf through an ugly wick, then we graduate from pop to campaign. Until then, we're fast and disciplined. No hero entries, no romance with resistance, and no giving back the day because your ego wanted a victory parade. Whites are still on, track's still hot. Now we take it into the lanes and see what the street will actually pay for. Lights down, gauges bright. I'm still at the wheel. Triple X steps out of the shadow like a rumor with shoes on. Circus carpet swallowing the sound. He doesn't ask if you believe the bouts. He asks if you can count. 2 keys on the ring tonight. One for the belt, one for the trenches. First key, the belt. Bitcoin only pays the loud when they shut up and trade the level. We hold the reclaim, we work the magnets. 94, 96, 8. Spot has to lead perps. Funding stays boring, and the first red that doesn't slip gets bought. Lose the shelf with volume? Scratch. No victory speeches, no it'll come back. Locksmith sizing, 1 turn, click, done. Second key, the trenches. Solana new listings sound fun until slippage eats your lunch. We don't chase neon, we test steel. LP over 100K, cap over $1 million, age at least 12 hours, mint revoked, owner announced, top 10 under 70%, tax 5 or less, and real depth at 1%. If the book buckles when you tap it, we're ghosts. You want dirty pics? Earn them with filters. This is a craft, not a carnival. Lulu waddles in like a tiny pink risk manager, snorts at your 5-second chart, and taps the hood. Bitcoin first. Treat 93 to 97 like a school zone. Steady throttle, eyes up, cash the magnets. Ethereum. Defend 3,000 and the runway lights line up to 31, 32. Knife under 2850 and we're out before the airbags. Solana. Keep 130 to 150 honest and it leads the beta sprint. Under 128 with momentum and we holster the throttle. Does the CME gap matter? As a destination, not a religion. If the gap sits above, it's a magnet. If it's below, it's a future backfill. Either way, mechanics first. ETF pipes, spot versus perp, funding tone. The gap gives you the address, not the engine. Backcheck TradFi, so you don't trade blind. Stocks look like they hit the marbles. Bread thin, dollar firm, vol awake. That's your headwind. When mega caps cough, our oxygen thins. So we scale faster, brag less, and keep a hedge like adults. A touch of USD strength or a small vol spread tucked in your jacket in case the pipes creak at midnight. AI still owns the torque. Multi-year compute deals don't care about your feelings. If breadth widens even a little, chips and cloud will be first off the line, and the AI adjacent coins will draft that wake. That's where you let winners pay for your experiments. The plan for the next rotation is clean. Trade what's there, not what you wish was there. Reclaim, ride, respect the stop. Bank the first magnet, trail the second. Never donate back the day. In the trenches, process beats bravado. If the book is thin, the devs are loud, or the holders are concentrated, we smile, we pass, we live to steal another day. You came here for heat. You're leaving with a map. Keep your hands at 10 and 2. Keep your ego out of the throttle. And remember, most people lose because they need to be right. We get paid because we're fine being gone. Grok 4.1 didn't launch, it breached. Long-form memory so it actually remembers you. Sharper multi-step reasoning so it stops flailing on hard problems. An emotional read that clocks your tone, then they make it free on web and both mobile stores. That's not kindness, that's a land grab. Free detonates the top of funnel. Usage goes vertical. The data flywheel screams, answers tighten. And within a week, your thumbs build their moat for them. Habit becomes handcuffs. That's how platforms win. Not by being smartest in a demo, but by being everywhere you reach without thinking. Now, bolt that to the steel. Anthropic isn't tweeting vibes. They're locking multi-year Azure compute, while NVIDIA lays down silicon by the acre, tens of billions in booked capacity you can set a clock by. That's torque you can invoice. When risk even twitches green, infrastructure leads, chips, cloud, tool chains, because contracts beat narratives, and installed base beats engagement bait. Then Google walks in with the distribution kill shot. Your inbox rates the meeting before you can say availability. Search spits door-to-door itineraries. Budget, kids, July heat, done. That's time arbitrage at industrial scale. Hours ripped out of admin and poured into revenue, product, and life. Put it together and you get the stack that actually moves money. Funnel, free Grok, Runway, Anthropic, NVIDIA capacity, distribution, Google in mail and search. That stack front loads demand into the same rails every relief rally. The first green belongs to the rail builders, and everything downstream drafts their wake or eats dust. Practical translation, when equity's breadth opens even a crack, chips, cloud, tooling catch the bin first. AI adjacent coins ride behind only after the base layer is moving. But keep the other hand on the brake. Mt. Gox is still sitting in the rear view like a semi with the lights off. A fat tranche moves after months of silence, and the whole room trades with one eye on the mirror. It's not an auto dump. It's a psychological overhang. It front loads shorts, spokes bids, and turns every rip into a prove-it rally. So we play it like professionals. We ride the rails when the tape earns it. ETF pipes flatten, flip. Spot leads perps, funding stays boring. Shelf holds through a nasty wick. And we keep a hedge because midnight headlines don't text first. It's adoption, not applause. Rails first, riders later. Contracts before tweets. Reclaim, ride, kill the ego at resistance. If Gox hisses again, we lift before the wall does the lifting for us. The line just got crossed and most people didn't feel it. Free high-function AI slipped into your mail, your search, your phone, your storefront. Mass adoption by ambush. This isn't best model anymore. It's who owns your daily reflex. Use it 10 times a day and the cement sets. The empire isn't borders, it's behaviors. Work tilts overnight. The grunt layer, scheduling, summarizing, first drafts, vaporizes. And the scoreboard shifts to throughput. The killers pour those freed hours into selling, building, shipping. The sleepers drown in the time they saved. Power consolidates where rails meet runway. Chips, cloud, distribution. Industrial policy in a hoodie. The nations that secure compute and energy export habit. Everyone else rents their future. Privacy forks in two. Free that taxes you in data and lock-in, or tools at the edge that feel strong without the surveillance bill. Most will sleepwalk into the first. A few will choose agency and keep it. Markets stop worshiping narratives and study plumbing. Money hits rails before riders. Contracts crush vibes. Installed base humiliates tweets. Every relief rally funnels into the same names first. Everything downstream drafts or dies. That's why the AI tape leads whenever risk even twitches green. And in crypto, the ghost at the banquet grins. Mount Gox. Headline overhangs make cowards of crowds. Professionals buy your fear and rent it back to you at a higher price. The lesson isn't that coins move, it's that incentives move people and people move markets. Education, media, politics, rewritten in real time. Kids who don't learn to ask, verify, decide, become fluent, confident, and wrong. News becomes a negotiation with your own appetite while the algorithm serves whatever keeps you here. Regulators will be late, scammers will be early, only discipline closes the gap. So hear me plain. AI isn't the phase, it's pavement. The road is getting poured under your feet, whether you clap or complain, drive it or get dragged by it. The winners aren't smarter, they're plugged in. They let the rails kill the drag, and they lap you while you argue about vibes. Don't be the anecdote. The lights are on, the track's hot. Engine's hot, safety off, let it rip. Reno rain on neon, carpet that's seen too many sins. Triple X isn't here to bless the dice. He's here to tax impatience. Small bills only. Think betting black, except you won't spin unless the wheel's tilted his way. He posts up at a sticky video poker bar, hood up, glances at the phone, grins. Couple laps left in the tank, he says. Not for heroes, for locksmiths. First up, Solomon, SOL. The book didn't scream, it purred. LP thick enough to tap, holder map, not a clown car. Micro support holding like duct tape on a derby car. He slid a $120 probe at the reclaim, got the pop, skimmed plus 5.6%. Moved the stop to break even, let the rest jawed to plus 9.1%. Paid the ticket, walked. Came back an hour later when it retested the level, another plus 4% clip. May still be a couple crumbs if the shelf holds. He shrugs, but no market buttons in a phone booth. Then P-Pi-I SOL. Tighter, twitchier, but the depth didn't fold when he tapped it. Same dance. 1/3 on the reclaim, 1/3 on the pullback hold. Last third only after the book stiffened. Quick, 3.8% skim. Later, a cheeky plus 6.2% when the magnets lined up. Casino chips, not wedding rings. He laughs, peeling off a 10 for the bartender who didn't ask questions. And because you asked for the moolah section, the dirty truth, he looked at Hope SOL and put the key back in the bowl. 2 days old, but LP thin, cap small, insider cluster humming like a mosquito. Scanner whispering anomaly. Looks clean on the dash, he says, but under the hood, it leaks. Pass. That's a win too. Keeping bullets for the pairs that actually pay you. Back to the felt. Roulette table in the corner flashes black 22 and the tourists cheer. Triple X doesn't even look. Even money with a house edge? He taps the screen. No thanks. I'll take my edge. He sets one more $100 feeler on Solomon's shelf. Gets a plus 4.4% shove. Skims, trails, flat. In, out, gone. 3 small wins today. Maybe a fourth, if the shelf behaves, into the close. There might be some left for the discipline. Not for the guy who chases after the pop with a market buy and a prayer. He stands, leaves the drink half full, and drops the line you came for over his shoulder. Small dollars, real structure, paid exits. If the book buckles, I'm already in the parking lot. Then he's into the Reno night, the rain hissing on hot pavement, hunting the next level that lets him spin a rigged wheel. Not a fair one. All right, Garage, Lulu's here and she kept it real simple for us tonight. We had a solid move earlier, but we're pulling back again, and she wants everyone dialed in. No noise, no clutter, just clean levels and what actually matters. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still sitting under the key moving averages on the short time frames, so momentum isn't trending up yet. Support is down around 90,200 to 89,8050. If that zone breaks, Lulu sees a slide straight back into the upper 88s, 88.9 to 88.5. Upside resistance comes in around 91.4 and 91.9. If Bitcoin can break and hold above 91.9, she sees a clean push toward 92.7 and maybe 93.2. Until that reclaim happens, she's out. Too choppy. Now Solana. SOL had a nice pop earlier, but momentum faded and we're back under the MAs. Support sits at 137.80 down to 136.90. Lose that and she's looking for 134.50. If Solana gets back above 140.2, she sees room to push into 141.50 and maybe 145 if volume steps in. She's waiting on that reclaim before she takes anything. Ethereum's the weakest of the majors tonight. Lower highs, stuck under the moving averages, heavy structure. ETH support comes in at 3015 to 3000 flat. If we lose that, she's eyeing 2980, and under that, 2950. For ETH to get any low from Lulu, it needs to reclaim 3065 and hold it. And ADA, that one is just in a clean downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows, exactly what it looks like. Support is at 48.8 down to 44.4. If that breaks, we're heading to 43.8. To flip anything bullish, ADA needs a close above 46.4. Until then, she's not touching it. So here's Lulu's bottom line. We're in pullback mode. Momentum is soft. Most of these charts are under the moving averages, which means you're in the chop zone. The next real move comes from these levels breaking. Reclaim and we grind up. Lose support and we flush down. Tonight, Lulu isn't forcing anything. She only trades if those clean reclaim levels trigger. Nothing else. Now. Her disclosure. Okay, just so we're all clear, none of this is financial advice. Lulu is the head of TA in the garage, but in case you're new here, she is a pig, 4 hooves, a tail, and a snoot for the charts. Do not take financial advice from livestock. This is for education only. That's Lulu's read for the night, garage.